All right, we are live. Give me a second. I just dropped off a discovery call and I'm a bit late. Sorry about that, but hang on with me. Oh, hold on. We're gonna play our song. Well, I set things up and I'm waiting for everyone. We're gonna play the Claim song, which you guys will need to get used to, because this is gonna be I'm so excited about this. This is gonna be the track for my work, for my podcast, for everything. All right, let's see. When I speak your name, when I move my body, oh, yeah, I'll claim by you. When I speak your name, when I move my body, oh, yeah, I'll claim by you. Yeah, I'll claim by you, by you, by you. Oh, I think it has stopped. Hang on. All right, so I'm just gonna open the GarageBand here so that I can record my podcast episode. Okay, so I think we're good to go. Hold on. I love this. It's like an event with music and we're waiting for everyone and all of that. So, okay, we're ready to go. Let's go. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this. Whatever this is my live broadcasts and my podcast episodes on the 10 rules of being claimed. So we have finally arrived to the 10th rule of being claimed. If you're new to this, by the way, if you're new to this, hang on a second. Okay, hold on. All right. Sorry, I had to remove someone from this chat because they were sending me weird comments, which happens. Okay, I'll do this again. Hold on. All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the rule number 10 of the 10 rules of being claimed. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Anna Rova. I am a femininity and feminine embodiment coach, and I run a successful group coaching program for single women who want to attract a committed masculine man. So I started this series with an idea in mind that I could share the 10 rules of being claimed that I share with all of my clients, and something that would be really beneficial for women to understand and get my philosophy about relationships, dating, and men, and what I do with women in my work. So this is also a podcast recording, by the way. So for those of you who are watching, know that this is going to be available on my Girl Skills /Claimed podcast in July. And those of you who are listening know that this is also recorded as video on my Instagram Live and is going to be available on IGTV after the recording is done. Okay, so we have come to the last rule of the 10 rules of being claimed. It's been an incredible journey. Took time and effort, right? But I'll take off my earrings because I think when I record a podcast episode, earrings are not a good thing to have. But yeah, so the 10 rules have been amazing, and I've actually thrown in a bonus, which I'm going to record tomorrow, rule number 11. And then I think on Monday or Sunday night, I'll do like a summary, and I'll tell you more about, if you're interested and curious to hear more, then how we could actually work together and what are the next steps. But, if you're listening, if you're watching and you're already curious and you haven't signed up for my signature training webinar on how to attract committed masculine men, then I really recommend you do that at girlskill.com/webinar, where I share my whole philosophy and we dig deeper into the 3 key shifts that a modern woman needs to do today in order to shift her dynamics with men, especially if you're attracting feminine men or unavailable men, then this is the training for you. So let's get into rule number 10. Rule number 10 is actually a rule that summarizes all the rules. It's like the queen rule of the rules. And the rule is called Happy Wife, Happy Life. And this is actually a phrase that my husband told me, or like he was just kind of like throwing it around. And I, happy wife, happy life, it's kind of just the saying, but when you really dig deeper into that, you realize that it has a lot of truth into that. And so that's why this rule basically summarizes everything, because if you're a woman, you know that if you're unhappy, everything around and everyone around is unhappy. And that is the power that you have as a woman on men, on people around, and on the world. And that is very important to understand, because that's how you deal with the world and that's how you deal with the men. And so the energy in the relationship and the household depends on you. If you're angry and resentful, everyone feels it. If you think that your man doesn't feel it, you got to think again, because he knows. Oh my God, men know. Like, just from a look on your face, just from, like, it's an energy thing. My husband, he knows immediately if something is wrong, because the way I answer it, because of the way I look at it. Like, sometimes I don't even want him to talk to me, not because I'm angry at him, but because whatever, I'm like dealing with something, and he knows it immediately. I also know it when I look at him, but I believe that with men, first of all, I don't think men are that, well, they're not that emotional as us. They do not take a lot of things very seriously as we do. Everything to us is important and everything matters, right? And it's a beautiful quality to have. And we need to know how to work with that. But there's a difference in how men approach life and women approach life, right? We're so multi-layered, we're multitasking all the time. So a lot of the times I might feel very overwhelmed. And when I talk to my masculine men, things just become so much easier, and that I can breathe, because I can feel that masculine foundation, that support from a man, where he just looks at this and he's like, well, let's just do this. Or he might throw a joke at me, or, I really love that masculine ability that men have to just see things clearly of where you need to go, because sometimes I'm all in my head and it's all important and it all matters and the world is going to hell, and like things are like, I get into this state, and then the masculine really can not bring me down, but keep me grounded. So, understanding that you have that effect on men and you have that effect on your children and the community and the world is paramount. And so that's why it's really important when we talked about rule number 2, put yourself first, take care of your emotional, physical being. Everything else will flow. Because when women focus on themselves first, know how to set their boundaries, and don't try to give, and then expect to receive, that doesn't work. That builds a lot of resentment, anger, and bitterness. That's not a very good place to be. So if you're feeling anger, resentful, and bitter, ongoing, this is a problem that needs to be, I don't want to say fixed, but felt through and really worked on. Because the way you feel as a woman in your everyday life really dictates how everything else feels and how everybody else feels around you, because you have that incredible power as a woman to influence that without even saying anything. If you're a mother, you know what I mean. Children really pick up on that energy. And if they feel like there's some research out there, and don't quote me on it, but I've read that, a lot of children who are constantly frantic or nervous, they pick up on the energy of a mother. And so I was very careful, especially with my daughter, she's 1.5, about how I am. And I believe that she's a calm child, and, people tell me that. And I'm like, well, I can't directly say, but I really feel that I have influenced that, because she's picking up on my energy. And it's not to say I'm perfect all the time, but I have the tools to deal with that. So the conclusion is that if you're happy, your man will be happy. That's why you need to focus on yourself first, and don't let your man become your project, and don't let anybody else become your project, even your child, even your man. Focus on yourself first. You get the best peace. Remember rule number 2, because when you do that and you are happy, then everybody else is happy. And society at large will be happy. So it would be very interesting to look at trends in society where women are angry and resentful. I mean, my thought goes down to, let's talk about, the US and how many women are unhappy, right? And that what's going on there. So I don't want to make that statement because that's not based in anything. It's just my own thoughts, but I would be curious to explore that. So, when women are fulfilled and embodied, the world is a better place for everyone. And I think if you ask any man about it, he will attest to that. So in my webinar, I also give this idea. What is happiness for a woman? Happiness for a woman when she's fulfilled and in her body, when she's in the present moment, not thinking about where's this going, what's going to happen tomorrow, constantly in the past and in her head all the freaking time. That is the problem today of the modern successful woman. She's in her head, she's constantly in her masculine energy, and that just doesn't work. So when you refocus and step back and lean back into your femininity, into your natural flow of being as a feminine essence woman, which is most women, your life will flourish, your jobs will flourish, and everything else will flourish. And your relationships will flourish because, who wants to come back home to a partner or to a woman who's constantly resentful and who's constantly complaining about things? No one. I wouldn't want to come to a husband like that, or to a woman like that, or to a girlfriend like that. Obviously life happens, right? Like things go up and down, but you have to be able to have the tools and the resources to actually be able to go through that in a powerful way that is very collected, right? So know that if you are happy, everything else around you is happy. And of course it sounds easier said than done, but if you have that in your mind as a philosophy or as a mindset, as a way of life, what you can do today to get yourself to that space constantly. And it's not to say that you have to be constantly happy. In fact, in the way that in my work with women, we really work on embodying what is present in your body now. If you are feeling resentful and frustrated, this is absolutely normal. I go through my day ups and downs. I feel disappointed, frustrated, whatever, but I have the tools to embody that and to not run away from feeling like shit, for example, right? But so when you do that, your body will naturally flow. You will be in the state of flow, which is actually not a state of happiness per se, but it's a state of flow when you know where you're going and there's no these frantic ups and downs. So you're running around not knowing how to deal with your emotional storms. So, and as I said, an example that I can share with you from my own life, when I'm angry, everything else around is angry. Everybody else is on the edge. When a woman, especially if she's like the wife and the mother, if she's angry, everybody's walking around on eggshells. That. Men do not have that, what is the word I'm looking for? Flavor or texture around their sensations and their feelings. They're very much, men project them inside and they deal with their emotions by actually not thinking about it. They deal with their emotions by retreating, by completely shifting, right? They're going for the release of sports games, of whatever. They have this ability to compartmentalize and actually move on quickly. We do not. We need the time to simmer in our emotions and to simmer in this. And a lot of the times modern women think their way through it, which is not the best scenario. The best scenario is to actually feel your way through it, because when you feel your way through it, then you get to the other side, which is a release, which is you understand how you can let that go. So happy wife, happy life is not a very embodied rule, but essentially it means that I would even say a wife who's in flow, there's life that's in flow. So my question to you is, how are you able to put yourself first and change that dynamic of you? If you feel yourself constantly being resentful, especially if you're in a relationship or constantly complaining about men, that needs to change and shift. So I think for you, it's important to really focus on that. If you find yourself to be in that state, constantly complaining about men, complaining about the world, resentful, things are not working in your life, overwhelmed, frustrated, analysis paralysis, this is your time to slow down and really drop into your body. Because the effect that you have on other people, men, children, and the world and society and community at large is tremendous. And so I believe in a world, the world that we want to live in, the happy world, amazing world that we all want, comes from embodied, fulfilled women. So know that you have that power, and think about what will you do today to put yourself first and to really step into that power that you have as a woman. And based on my work, I know that women, our power does not lie in our success and independence and achievement, which are masculine qualities, but our power lies in the power to connect with our femininity in our bodies and ourselves, so that we don't need to prove everything to everyone. And from that place, this is what happy life, happy wife, happy life means. So that's kind of what I wanted to say. I mean, it's a very simple thought, but I think it's a powerful thought. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, next up, I'm gonna introduce you to the bonus rule that I came up with a few days ago, which I thought is super important, because a lot of people are like, what is feminine embodiment? So we're going to talk about feminine embodiment, which is a bonus rule number 11. We're going to talk about what it is not, disembodiment causes, and I'm going to read you a beautiful text from one of my mentors, and you know what this all means, and what most important it has to do with men and relationships. So I think that this is it for today. Thank you. All right, ladies, I just paused my recording on the podcast. So whoever is still here on these live, let me know if you have any questions, or, you know, I guess all of you probably agree, happy life, happy wife. So yeah, let me know, how does this happy wife, happy life rule and concept resonate with you? You can DM me, or, you know, share it in your stories if you wanted to. So I'm just going to wait another 30 seconds. And if we're all good, then I think we're all good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think there's some men tuning into this. I'm going to shift through my, like, there's a guy here who's like, you're so hot. I'm like, oh God, delete, block, remove. Weird. But I guess, you know, the more followers I get, the more I show up, the more guys like this I will have. Yucky. All right. Okay, ladies, thank you so much. Okay, much love. Bye. Yeah, it resonates absolutely. Yeah. Good to hear, Vanessa. Thank you so much.